Now, let us see how to derive the Clapeyron's theorem of three moments, or theorem of three moments, or equation of three moments. Okay, let us see the derivation of Clapeyron's theorem of three moments. For this, we will consider a continuous beam ABC that is fixed at A and C. So, our continuous beam is fixed at A, fixed at C, and is supported at B. Now, let L1 be the length of the span AB. So, the span AB is taken as L1. The span BC is taken as L2. The moment of inertia of the beam in span AB is taken as I1. The moment of inertia of the beam in span BC is taken as I2. Delta A is the relative position of support A with respect to B. That means when the support sinks, when the supports undergoes some settlements. So, when we consider the span AB and BC, when we consider three or two consecutive spans or three consecutive supports, that is when we consider A, B, C, the center support is B and the relative position of the support is taken at A. That means the end supports. So the relative position of the support A with respect to B is taken as up to this. It is taken as delta A, and the relative position of C with respect to B after settlement will be taken as delta C. Now, MA, MB and MC be the moment at A, B and C respectively. See, since the supports A and B are fixed support, we will have moments at A, we will have moment at C, and at all intermediate supports we will have moments. So B is an intermediate support, we will have moment at B also. So our aim is to find the relationship, how to derive the relationship between these three moments. Clapeyron's theorem gives us the relationship between these three moments, that is relationship between MA, MB, MC, their lengths L1, L2, their moment of inertia I1, I2, then the modulus of elasticity E, and the settlement delta A and delta C. So the relationship between these factors is called Clapeyron's theorem of three moments. That is what we are going to see now. So before going for the derivation, let us draw the bending moment diagram for the continuous beam. So this is our continuous beam A, fixed at A, fixed at C and an intermediate support at B. So this is A, B and C. So when we draw the bending moment diagram, we need the loading condition. So let us assume that the continuous beam is subjected to an UDL. The intensity of this UDL is WO per unit length. So when it is subjected to an UDL, how will we draw the bending moment diagram? See, for the span AB, so first of all we have to draw the bending moment diagram due to the simple supports by assuming the ends or the supports are simply supported. So for simply supported beam when subjected to UDL, this is our bending moment diagram. Now, due to fixing moments, we have the fixed ends and intermediate support. So due to these fixed support and intermediate support, we will have fixing moments at the ends and bending moment at B. So our bending moment due to fixing moment becomes like this. From A to B, B to C. Okay. So this means, see, the portion near the support A, we have a negative bending moment. The portion near the support B, that is both the sides, we will have a negative bending moment, and at C also we will have a negative bending moment. Now, the remaining portion, that is at the midspan, to some length of the midspan, that is from this portion to this portion, and in the span BC from this portion to this portion, we will have a positive bending moment. So this is positive bending moment. This portion we will have a positive bending moment. This is positive, positive, and the blue color represents negative bending moment. Because, see, this will be clear while you are drawing the deflection diagram. So for this beam, how will you draw the deflection diagram? Since the ends are fixed, your deflection diagram will be like this. So this way you will get the deflection diagram. That means at this portion you will have a negative bending moment. At this portion you will have a negative bending moment. Sorry, this will come like this. So at this portion you will have a negative bending moment. Negative, negative, negative. And the remaining portions you will have a positive bending moment. That is, this portion is subjected to pure sagging, and the remaining portion for the negative bending moment, it represents hogging bending moment. That is the meaning of that. Now, see, we have to derive, or we have to find a relation for the moments at A, B and C. So now, see, this is the intensity. This moment is the intensity MA. At C, the intensity of moment is MC, and at B, the intensity of moment is MB. So now, let us assume that, let mu x, we will take mu x and mu dash x. So mu x is the bending moment at any section x. Bending moment at any section x, considering the beam as simply supported. Considering the beam as simply supported. So if we are considering the beam as simply supported, we know our bending moment diagram is represented by this red color. Okay. So that is your mu diagram. So mu x is the bending moment at any section x. Now, similarly, for the bending moment due to fixed moment, we will take it as mu x dash. So mu x dash is the fixing moment, bending moment due to fixed support or due to the restraint, due to the fixed support at any section x. At any section x. Now we will consider each beam, each span of the beam. So first of all, we will consider the span AB. Okay, now we will consider the span AB. So when we are considering the span AB, and this is C. Okay. So when we are considering the span AB, let us consider the bending moment at a section x at a distance x from A. So we will take a section x at a distance x from A. So this is our section. This is our section X. Now we know from the equation of bending, m by I is equal to F by Y is equal to E by R. Therefore, m is equal to EI by R. And from this we get m is equal to EI into d square y by dx square. Now, we will take the bending moment at the section X. So, the bending moment at section X becomes, it is a combination of the bending moment due to simple support plus the bending moment due to fixed supports. So, it is mu x plus mu x dash, because mu x is the bending due to simple supports and mu dash is the bending due to fixed support. So, it is mu x plus mu dash of x. So, we get we will replace this mx by EI into d square y by dx square. So, we get EI1, because we are taking the span 1. So, the property is I1, moment of inertia is I1. So, EI1 into d square y by dx square is equal to mu x plus mu x dash. Now, we will multiplying by x and integrating. You multiply by x and integrate, we get EI1 into integration of 0 to L1, because AB is of span L1. So, in EI1 into integral 0 to L1 x into d square y by dx square is equal to integration of 0 to L mu x x into dx plus integration of 0 to L mu dash of x into x into dx. So, now this is of the form, this equation is of the form integration of u into dv. So, our u is taken as x here and dv is taken as d square y by dx square. So, our u is taken as x, dv is taken as d square y by dx square, and we will take this equation as equation number 1. Now, from this u1 is equal to 1 and v is equal to dy by dx. So, we know integration of u into dv is equal to uv minus u1 v1. So, we get v is equal to du dy by dx, and from this we get v1 is equal to y. Differentiating, we get v1 is equal to y. Therefore, we know integration of v into du is equal to, u into dv is equal to uv minus u1 v1. Therefore, our equation number 1 becomes EI1 into uv. So, x into dy by dx minus u1 v1. u1 is 1 and v1 is y. So, it is minus y. The limits are from 0 to L1 is equal to, the right side we know it is a 0 to L1 mu x into dx plus integration of 0 to L1 mu dash of x into dx. So, now you recall the moment diagram. So, in the moment diagram, this mu x into dx is the moment of, the smaller moment of the moment due to simple supports. So if mu x into dx is the moment due to simple supports, integration of 0 to L1 mu x into dx is equal to A1. That is, see in this diagram, it is the area of this moment diagram. Area of this simple moment diagram is integration of 0 to L1 mu x into dx. Because moment into smaller distance, this represents the diagram. When you integrate, this is the whole area. So it is A1. This area is taken as A1, and x is the distance of center of gravity, or x is the distance where the section is taken. So integration of 0 to L1 mu x into dx is A1 multiplied by x. Similarly, this mu x dash into dx, that is integration of 0 to L mu x dash into dx, will be taken as A1 dash. That is in the first span. In the first span, this is the area under the bending moment diagram due to fixing support. That is the meaning of that. So that our equation 1 can be written as, we can write this as EI1 into x into dy by dx minus y, the limits are from 0 to L1 is equal to A1 into x1 bar plus A1 dash into x1 bar. See, this x1 bar is the distance of center of gravity of mu diagram in the span AB, and x1 dash is the distance of center of gravity of mu dash diagram in the span AB. So we will write that. So here A1 is equal to the area of mu diagram, area of mu diagram in the span AB. x1 dash is equal to the distance of center of gravity of mu diagram for the span AB. So I repeat, mu diagram is nothing but the bending moment diagram due to simple supports. Similarly, your A1 bar, A1 dash is equal to area of mu dash diagram, that is the bending moment diagram due to fixing supports in span AB, and x1 dash is equal to the distance of center of gravity of mu dash diagram, that is the bending moment diagram due to fixing support for the span AB. Now our equation becomes E into I1 into, we are substituting the limits. So x varies from 0 to L1. So we get EI1 into L1 into dy by dx minus y, plus we are substituting the limit 0. So EI1 into y this is for the next value, is equal to A1 x1 bar plus A1 dash x1 dash bar. Now This y is nothing but the deflection at the center support, that is the deflection at the intermediate support. Y is equal to the deflection at the intermediate support. See, the reason is this Clapeyron's theorem of three moments is applicable only for a two-span continuous beam. So this y, the deflection or the deflection is always considered of the intermediate support or the central support. Now, so we will replace this y by yb. So we get ei1 into L1 into dy by dx minus yb plus ei1 into yb is equal to a1 x1 bar plus a1 dash x1 bar dash. Now this dy by dx is actually the slope and yb is the deflection at b. So this yb, that is the first yb, is the deflection at b from A, and this yb is the deflection at b with respect to b. So by replacing we can write ei1 into L1 into this dy by dx is actually the slope at b. So it is written as ib minus this deflection is the deflection at b with respect to A. That is how much, what is the deflected distance of B with respect to A. So we will write it as YAB. We are measuring it from A plus EI1 into, this is the deflection at B with respect to B, is equal to A1 x1 bar plus A1 dash x1 dash bar. Now see how will we take the deflection. So we know ours is, we are taking the span AB, fixed span AB, sorry ABC, ABC, and when the support B is sinking, when it has some settlement, this B comes from B to B dash, and therefore the deflection will be like this. The deflected shape will be like this. So this distance is delta AB and this is delta BB. So B actually comes here. Sorry. So actually our beam becomes like this. So this is A, this is B, this is C. So this distance is delta AB. Here delta BB will be equal to 0 and this distance will be delta CB. So now we are considering this span AB. So our equation becomes, see this term, this YBB becomes 0. So our equation becomes EI1 into L1 into IB minus YAB is equal to A1 x1 bar plus A1 dash x1 dash bar. Now this YAB is actually, see this deflection. Now see the deflection of A from B. It is in the higher position. So from A to B and B to C. When we are considering the beam from A to B, the support B is at a lower level of A. So that means your delta A will be considered as negative. And when you are considering the span BC, here we are considering the span AB. Now, when we are considering the span BC, your delta CV or delta C will be positive because C is at a higher level of B. So, since we are considering the beam AB, the right support B is at the lower level, delta A is taken as negative. So that we get EI1 into L1 into IB plus delta A. So because minus of minus delta A. So it is plus delta A is equal to A1 into X1 bar plus A1 dash X1 bar dash. Now, so this can be written as EI1 into L1 into IB plus delta A is equal to A1 X1 bar plus A1 dash X1 dash bar. Now our aim is to find these values, that is what is A1 X1 bar and A1 dash X1 bar dash. So for this we will consider the bending moment diagram. So what we get is, we will draw the bending moment. Okay. So for this we will draw the bending moment diagram of the span AB. So we know the bending moment diagram of the span AB is, this is due to the symbol support and this is due to fixing support. So this is A and this is B. So this is the moment at A and this is the moment at B. So the shape of the mu dash diagram, is trapezoidal. So if it is trapezoidal, we can divide this into two triangles. So now we will divide this into two triangles. So we will take this as, we will divide the triangle like this. We will divide our triangle like this. So this part we will take it as the first triangle and this part we will take it as the second triangle. Now our aim is to find A1 X1 bar. So how will we find A1 X1 bar? So our A1 X1 bar is equal to, first of all, sorry, this is A1 dash X1 A dash, that is equal to, first of all we will take the first triangle. So it is half into base. Base is AB, the distance is L1 into height. Height is MA multiplied by X1 dash is the center of gravity, distance of center of gravity of this triangle. So this may be the center of gravity, and this distance is 1 by 3 of L1. This distance becomes 1 by 3 of L1. So we get L1 by 3, that is x1. So first triangle is over. For the second triangle, it is half into, again the base is L1 into the height is MB multiplied by the distance of center of gravity from A. So the distance of center of gravity from A for this triangle will be 2 by 3 of L1. Okay, for this triangle, for the second triangle, the distance of center of gravity from A will be 2 by 3 of L1. So now what we get is, this is equal to MA into L1 square by 6 plus 2 MB into L1 square by 6. So that is nothing but MA plus 2 MB into L1 square by 6. Now our equation 1 becomes EI into L1 into IB is equal to okay, now our equation becomes EI1 into, sorry, I will erase this. Okay, so now our equation becomes EI1 into L1 into IB plus delta A is equal to A1 x1 bar plus MA plus 2 MB into L1 square by 6. That is A1 bar, A1 dash x1 dash bar. We are substituting this in 1. Okay. Now, so this is nothing but EI1 L1 into IB plus EI1 into delta A is equal to A1 x1 bar plus MA plus 2 MB into L1 square by 6. Now, we will divide this equation. Dividing this equation by L1 I1, we get E into IB plus E into delta A by L1 is equal to A1 x1 bar by L1 I1 plus MA plus 2 MB into L1 by I1 into 6. So that is nothing but E into IB is equal to A1 x1 bar by L1 I1 plus MA plus 2 MB into L1 by 6 I1 minus E into delta A by L1. Now, so this is, we will take this as A. This is for the first span, for the span AB. Now, we will consider the span BC. So now we will consider the span BC. In a similar manner, consider the span BC. So when you consider the span BC, we get similarly we get E into IB dash. The thing is, the slope remains same. See, when you are considering the beam, when you are considering a continuous beam, the slope remains same at the both sides of the intermediate support. That was our assumption, that was our consistency condition which we studied in the previous portion. But the direction of the slope is different. So for the span AB, if it is IB, for the span BC it will be minus IB. That is why it is given as IB dash. That is equal to, so for the span BC, that the second span, we will take it as A2. A2 x2 bar by L2 I2 plus we will get MC plus 2 MB into L2 by 6I2 minus E into delta C by L2, and this will be our equation B, that is for the span BC. Now, see, as I have told you, IB is equal to minus IB dash. So, from this implies EIB is equal to minus EIB dash. So, equation number A is equal to minus of equation B. So, from this we can write A1 x1 bar by L1 I1 plus MA plus 2 MB into L1 by 6I1 minus E into delta A by L1 is equal to minus A2 x2 bar by L2 I2, it's minus, plus MC plus 2 MB into L2 by 6 I2 minus E into delta C by L2. So, which implies MA into L1 by 6 I1 plus 2 MB into L1 by 6 I1 plus MC into L2 by 6 I2 plus 2 MB into L2 by 6 I2 is equal to minus of A1 x1 bar by I1 L1 plus A2 x2 bar by I2 L2 plus E delta A by L1 plus E delta C by L2. MA into L1 by I1 plus 2 times MB into L1 by I1 plus L2 by I2 plus MC into L2 by I2 is equal to minus 6 into A1 x1 bar by I1 L1 plus A2 x2 bar by I2 L2 plus 6E delta A by L1 plus 6E delta C by L2. This equation is called Clapeyron's theorem of three moments. This is called Clapeyron's theorem of three moments or three moment equation. Now, if the settlement is equal to 0, that is, if B is not settling, B do not have any deflection, the support B do not have any deflection, then delta A with respect to B will be equal to 0 and delta C with respect to B equal to 0. That is, delta A will be equal to 0 and delta C will be equal to 0. So, if there is no displacement, no settlement of supports, no displacement of supports, then our equation, the Clapeyron's theorem of three moment becomes MA into L1 by I1 plus 2 MB into L1 by I1 plus L2 by I2 plus MC into L2 by I2 is equal to minus 6 into A1 x1 bar by I1 L1 plus A2 x2 bar by I2 L2. So that's all the derivation for Clapeyron's theorem of three moments.